Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Live Boldly with Sara. Tonight's episode is dedicated to every one of those parents out there that have felt guilty or have been made to feel guilty or have been told that they should feel guilty for taking time away from your children and spending that time on you or with someone that you care about. Because guess what? I'm quite frankly tired of people saying that you should feel guilty for not spending or putting every bit of energy into your children. Your children are important. I get it. Okay. I'm a single mom of three sons. Totally understand. Nothing comes between me and my kids with this understanding that in order for myself to say nothing comes between me and my kids, I also have to take care of myself along the way. There's this saying that I live by. It's you teach others how to treat you. I truly believe that. You also model behaviors for your kids and how you choose to be treated, how you want to be treated, right? As the adult, as the parent, and also how they can then step into that role because at some point they're going to be, if not a parent, a leader or something like that in their lifetime, right? Like they're going to have other people that are also going to look up to them. So when it comes to taking time for yourself, I'm going to say to you, please stop feeling guilty about it. There is nothing greater than showing others what it is to put yourself first. Because I know I grew up in a generation where my parents consistently, right? They were always putting us at the forefront, minus sometimes when they did take care of themselves and they went out, either for dinner or for dancing. I remember my parents loved to dance. My mom had the most amazing dress that when she danced, it would like float super high. It was one of those like really big dresses that would go around really high. And I always yearned for that same thing. Uh, and they would go on trips together as well. That said, I now looking back really wish that they would also have taken more time together. I really do. It's one of the things where I look at their relationship and I think, man, I if I was younger, if I was the younger version of me today looking at my parents, I'd say, please go do more of that. Go spend more time together. Go on more trips together. Go experience those things that you want to because in the long term, for myself, I'm the same way. Like I want to experience those things and I want to model to my kids that they can experience those things as well in their lifetime. So where I want to dive into today's episode is I want to talk to you about why it's important for us to put ourselves first. Self-care is not selfish. It's one of the most selfless things that we can do because, right now, especially in this day and age, mental health is a huge thing. Emotional health is a huge thing. It's not only, we talked for so long about the physical health of our bodies, yet our bodies are manifestations of our mental and emotional space. And so in order for our bodies to be healthy, we also have to take care of our emotional and mental health. And what better way than to model for our kids what it is to do that? It's not only about the foods that we eat, it's not only about how we exercise, it's about how do I work through those emotions, those mental spaces, so that I can be a full, healthy, well-being human. And so for me, what that looks like, and my boys know this, I've got three sons. For about the last, I guess, 7 years, 7 years, I've always taken time away and I've prioritized my mental health. So I've either gone into the mountains for a day or I've done extended trips where for the last, I guess, 5 years, I have done anywhere from 7 to 22 days on the trail and or route in the Sierra Nevada mountains or something like that. And my kids know this. The end of September, mom goes away. It's just what it is. It's actually kind of funny because for a while there, when I remember when I would start to get kind of antsy or my anxiety would pop up or I would start to be kind of short with the kids, they would say to me, I remember my youngest especially, he'd say to me, hey, mom, I think it's time that you need to go grab your paddleboard and go on the ocean. And they knew like my therapy was going onto the water and paddling or going into the mountains and hiking and climbing with my friends or even alone. And that is a perfect example of like, that's modeling for them, right? And now with my own kids, my middle son plays water polo, my younger son plays basketball, and my oldest, like, I love my boys. And I can always tell where I'm like, all right, you need to go take this, like basketball, to the court and work this out, right? And so I'm also relaying to them what they're relaying back to me. Go to the thing that you love the most and help that help you. For me, right now, I'm 51 and I am in the stage right now of climbing the Sierra High route. We leave tomorrow. So when this releases, y'all, I'm going to be somewhere on the Sierra High route. And we started doing this 3 years ago, where it's the most difficult and dangerous route in the United States. And it's at the top of the Sierra Nevada mountains. And we did the middle section 2 years ago. Last year, we did the first section. This year, we're finishing it. And it's where I turn my phone off. The prefrontal cortex, the front part of our brain, which is on all the time through social media, working at the computer, doing the things, the decision-making processes, like, it needs to take a rest at some point. So for me, when I'm going in the mountains, that slows down the cerebellum, the back part of our brain. That is actually where creativity lies, where I can allow myself to think differently, get perspective. That starts to rise and come forward. And so when I'm out in the mountains, that's where I feel most peace. And that's where I go. So find the thing that works for you in order for you to really work on your own mental and emotional health. And please, please know that there is no guilt in taking care of you. You are modeling for others what it is for them to take care of themselves too. Why does this help so much? Let's talk about some really good tips, like some reasons, like how does this actually work, right? Well, there's three things that I really dive into, like taking time away from your kids, why it's important. The most important reason is it recharges you. Kids take a lot of energy. I don't care what age they are. I've got them from 33 all the way down to 18. They suck a lot of energy out of you, even when they're not trying to, because you're either thinking about them, you're worrying about them, you're wondering about them because they're not responding to your text messages right away, or their text messages that they're responding to you with are either one word, two word, and you're trying to figure it out. So kids take a lot of energy, and energy is it's just demanding, right? Like parenting in and of itself is demanding. And so by allowing us to take care of ourselves, it allows us to recharge, right? And to be able to be the best version of who we are for them. The second thing is, like I said before, it models healthy boundaries. It models healthy ways of being in this world. When we are saying to our kids, hey, I'm taking time away from me, we're setting a boundary with them and saying, by me taking care of me, you're also going to take care of yourself. You're going to learn the accountability and responsibility of what it is to take care of you, because I'm not going to be there 24/7 in my case when I turn my phone off. And it really does give them the ability to set boundaries and healthy boundaries for themselves as well. It teaches them, right? It helps them learn that it's okay to take breaks. It's okay for them to prioritize themselves. It actually encourages them to develop a really good, healthy balance now in life between school and what's important for them, so that they can do that later with setting a really healthy boundary between themselves and work later in life. And then the third thing is it strengthens relationships, because let's face it, when you're away from somebody, you want to be with them, right? Like it's this, you have this, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you have an appreciation for them because you're not there all the time. And you realize all of the things that they do for you. I know for me, anyhow, with my kids, I know that they've done that. They've been like, man, you do a lot, mom. Like you do a lot of things for a lot of people. And I do. And so that time apart actually can strengthen the relationship because it gives appreciation for what you do bring to the to the table with the relationship. And it also, on the flip side of it, it gives others the opportunity to step in and to hold space for you while you are gone. So it lends support, right? In other ways, they get to then step in and say, you know what, your mom and dad, whomever, your parent, they're not there, and I'm going to step in their place and help out. And then they get to grow that relationship with those people as well. So I have found personally that one of the greatest things has been prioritizing myself throughout the year so that I can better prioritize my kids as well. I hope this helps you. Please live a guilt-free life. Like, why do we feel so guilty all the time for things? Uh, there are times in our life where we feel guilty for things that there is no space for it, because you're doing the best that you can too. And you're doing what you feel is right. And others may not agree with it. I know in my life, a lot of people have not agreed with it. A lot of people have not agreed with me taking off and going into the mountains for myself. And quite frankly, I don't really care, because I know what's best for me so that I can have my own mental health and my own awareness for my emotional health as well. And let's face it, we live through a lot. We just do. And I know for myself, I've lived through a tremendous amount in my life. And you can't go through a tremendous amount in your life without also going through a tremendous amount of recovery from that as well. And that's why I go where I go. I find this different version of myself when I'm out there. So we leave on Sunday, like I said, for the Sierra High Route. So I'm at, like, when this releases, y'all, I'm going to be in the Sierra High Route somewhere. And the coolest thing about the Sierra High Route is that there is no trail. You are literally route finding through the top peaks of the Sierra Nevada mountains. And you're like standing on one pass and you're looking out and you're like, okay, we got to get to that pass out of over there. And how are we going to do that? And you find your way through those mountains. And it's very metaphorical of life. Like, there's no path in this world, y'all. Like, everybody's path is different. Everybody's path to everywhere is different. The only thing that we know is that we're going to be born and we're going to die. That's it, right? And everything in between them, you have no idea what that path or that journey is going to be like. And so for me, navigating through that, it's also a lesson in listening to my intuition better. It's a lesson in me really being guided by what I know to be true. When I am looking over at the other past and I'm like, I need to get over there, how am I going to do that? I know that my feet are not going to step in the same space as anyone ever has in the past. And to me, that's pretty damn cool, because that's my journey, right? That's my journey, not only during those 12 days, but also in life. No one is taking the same journey as me. And that's a beautiful thing. And being guided by what I know to be true, or what I know is the right footing, what I know is my own right path, it teaches me so much along the way. The most important thing that it teaches me is the difference between fear and excitement. And I talk about this all of the time, because the one thing that will hold you back from so much in life, the one biggest barrier, is the fear that we have, the fear of the unknown, the fear of being alone, the fear of abandonment, the fear of loss, the fear of, there's so much. And what if we switch that into, here's the biggest thing, and how I'm going to end this. What if we switch that into, it's not about the fear of the loss, it's about the brilliance of what we gain. So by going through that journey of the hard, we end up standing on top of a mountain summit, which is metaphorical of anything, which, standing on the top of the job that we want, the career that we want, the whatever it is, like the relationship that we want. And we realize that the perspective from that space is so much greater. It's not about the fear. It's about the what if. Like, what if all of those things that we imagine actually happen for us? Because we have walked through the hard and we have now experienced what it is to be on the other side. So don't let fear get in the way, because you have no idea what's on the other side until you actually walk through that valley. There you go. And that's what we're going to be doing over and over and over again on this route, and have been doing, because you're listening to this as I've been on this. And I'm telling you, there's nothing greater than walking through that valley and walking over that pass and walking through all of that rock and the incredible talus of rock that's before us. And you're looking out and you're like, damn, this world is so much greater than I ever imagined it could be, outside of the pain, the difficulties that I have actually walked through myself. So there you go. I love you. I am so grateful that you are here. Go make the best of your day. Go make the best of this weekend, this week, this month, this year, the remainder. We have Q4 coming into space, right? For those of you that are entrepreneurs and everything. And I want you to go and conquer the hell out of that and make every one of your dreams, your goals, ambitions come true as well. Go and subscribe, rate, review this podcast, please. Go and share it with your friends, share it in social media, and tag me so I can reshare it on mine too. I love you. Thank you for being here. By the way, I actually have a new brand coming out the end of the month, the end of September, or the first week of October. Go in, make sure that you're following this, because as soon as this launches, y'all, we have the coolest thing available to you. You go and subscribe to the newsletter, and every single month you're going to get a new screensaver for your desktop and or phone that has this incredible picture. I'm so proud of this, with a really inspirational quote to guide you through that month. And there's an email that will be launched with that screensaver. It goes with it. It explains the quote. It explains the picture. And I'm telling you, these are pretty freaking rad. I'm stoked about this. So with that, I love you. Have a great rest of your day. Make it an incredible, incredible, incredible day and lifetime ahead.